A lot of people imagine that the rhododendron season in our country starts from late March until say April middle. But that's not true. The rhododendron season actually starts from late February. That's when the winter is kind of moving off from our country, and that's when the early blooms of rhododendrons that you see. And I've often heard this comment that, you know what, in this year we have the rhododendrons coming very quickly, global warming is happening. No, that's not true. The real fact is that from the last week of February, you should start seeing rhododendrons in our country, depending on, of course, which geography you are part of the country. And until April, even middle April, you should see rhododendrons. This is the peak rhododendron season of our country. Basically end of winter and before the start of the summer. This is the spring season, is the rhododendron season. Now, rhododendrons are not very common plants. Of course, when you see them in full bloom, it kind of dazzles your imagination and your eye, and sometimes there are slopes where it is absolutely scarlet. I mean, red, vermilion is the color that you see with rhododendrons, and it can capture even anyone's imagination to an extent that you wonder such a species of plants can actually exist. That entire bloom of the plant is red. So that's a sight to see, but you will not see it everywhere, not on all treks. In most of our treks, you will see solitary plants here and there. But if you really want to see rhododendrons in our country, there are 4 treks of ours which you must target. For me, if you ask me, where are you going to see the most rhododendrons? It would be easily Goichala and Sikkim. It has not only the most rhododendrons, it has the most variety as well. You not only see this red, the vermilions and the scarlet ones, you also see the yellows and whites as you go higher up. So the range of rhododendrons that you see in Goichala is absolutely unimaginable. It starts around that Bhakim camp that we have, that day 1 camp that we have. From Bhakim to Choka, it starts getting more and more. Then from Choka to all the way, almost to the halfway up to Zongri, you will see this rhododendron patches. And you go through a tunnel of rhodo trees, and this is a sight which is a feast for the eyes. And not only is it a feast for the eyes, it also brings in the birds. So you get the rhodos with the birds, because and the variety of birds that you see on this Goichala trek, that's why it's a birders paradise as well. Now there's another trek which is the Goichala of the West, where you get almost an equal amount of rhododendrons, and that's the Devriyatal Chandrashila trek that we have. That trek too has these huge sections of rhododendrons everywhere. Starting from the Devriyatal lake itself, and then all the way when you go up to Chopra, there are small sections where the entire slope is comes alive with these rhododendrons, and it's on fire. And again the birds. That's why even Devriyatal Chandrashila for us is the birders trek. If you want to see birds, then do it in the rhododendron season, and you will see birds which you have never seen before in your life. All of bird photographers either land up on the Goichala trek or on the Devriyatal Chandrashila trek. Having said this, there are 2 other treks which has very good rhododendrons. One is the Sandakpur trek. So that's in North Bengal, almost bordering Sikkim. Again, because it's very close to that Goichala, that belt over there, similar topography, and which is why the rhododendrons are so good over there. So there are these sections, after Saman, then you'll see it. On your way back from Al to Gurdum, you'll see this huge belts of rhododendrons where, trekkers are going to walk under a canopy of rhodo trees, and these are sites which are rare. And so this trek is again another trek. And finally, the Brahmatal trek. A lot of people think Brahmatal is a great winter trek, but Brahmatal is a great rhododendron trek as well. So when the winter is over, you'll see this rhododendrons blooming. You go to Bekaltal, on the way from Bekaltal, around Bekaltal it starts the blooms, and all the way it goes, almost climbing all the way to Tilandi, you will see this rhodo sections on this trek. Overlooking the Bekaltal itself, you will find rhododendron trees everywhere. So that's again another section. In fact, our first campsite is surrounded by rhododendron trees, so that's a very good setting to be in. So these 4 treks are my topmost treks to see rhododendrons in our country. It's not that you will not see it on other treks, you will see, but if you want to see real good density of rhododendrons and you want to time yourself for that, then it is Goichala, Devretal Chandrashila, Sandakpur or Brahmatal. Choose any of these 4 treks. You are in for a treat.